Top 3 questions I get asked on this channel. What does the Amazon relay load board look like? How do I book loads? And when I book those loads, how do I stay so local? These are the relay rates for Friday, November 1st.
Let's get into those SoCal relay rates.
Alright, I told you last time we'd be back with another one of these sooner than the last. I think the last one took me almost a month to do. I think I'm like 3-4 days from putting out my last one. So I'm staying true to my word. I told you we'd get this one done sooner, and here we are. As always, gonna put chapters in this. I'm gonna not spend a lot of time in San Diego. We'll take a look at those recommended loads that Amazon is recommending to me. We're gonna take a look at spot capacity, and then we're gonna jump in to, what city was that? Should have had that memorized. That was Charlotte, North Carolina for Red Shift Trucking. We're gonna spend the bulk of our time there. So enough of that, let's get into it. Recommended loads here for San Diego. Let's see here. Some people sometimes ask, like, oh, are these, best of the best loads? I'll show you this here scorecard. We are looking at loads with a 100% Amazon grade. So if in theory there's a reward for having a high grade and that reward is seeing better loads, in theory we should be seeing those. Let's jump into this load board here. Recommended today. Yes. San 3 heading over to Phoenix. 359 miles, 274 a mile. That is a $984 payout. DSD1 quick little run up to Moreno Valley, 461 a mile, 313 payout. Let's just see if that is if you're new to Amazon, new to looking at the load board, that little circle that's not filled in, that means this is an empty move. If that circle will filled in, that means it's a loaded trailer. So quick little move there. Here's San Diego to Tucson, 204 a mile. DSD1 heading over to Paris, 433 a mile, one pick, one stop. I like that. Another one of those. Here's San 3, local move staying here in town, going up to Vista, 57.3 miles at 388 a mile. San Diego going to Tucson, 231 a mile. Here's one, that little lock next to it. San Diego, heading up to Simi Valley. Got a friend up in that area. Could go say, hey, what's up to Terry up there. 318 a mile, 581 payout. That little lock does mean that it's locked for early access, so that's one advantage of having high grade. San 3 going to ONT 5, 391 a mile, 489 payout. San 5 going to Chino, one pick, three stops, 259 a mile. That's tonight at 10:45. Let's just see if there's any box trucks in here. Sometimes they recommend those to me. A lot of times they don't. I include box trucks into these because people ask for them. I like to be inclusive, but I have never owned and operated a box truck. Since there's none, let's do what we did last time and just look at the top 3 paying box truck loads in San Diego. So let's see here. SD box truck. Let's sort this by price per distance highest and just see what the top 3 loads are paying. So here's San Diego going to Wilton, Arizona. One pick, one stop. I like that. 309 a mile, 660 payout. Next one, San Diego going to Winter Haven, California. One pick, total of 3 stops, total of 4. Heavy starting out at San 5. I'm willing to bet that all these addresses, like Mission Gorge and Santee, willing to bet that's a post office. Willing to bet that Calexico is a post office. Willing to bet that Winter Haven is a post office. Then you're out in Winter Haven. Forgot to turn that auto refresh off. You're probably going to have to either go to like Arizona or San Diego to get that connecting load. And then here's one pick, 7 stops. I don't know what it's like for box truck guys. If I saw this on the semi-truck side, I would not book this because when Amazon starts canceling legs, they start reducing payouts. I don't like that. I'm making this decision right now at $491. Let's say they say we don't need you at stop 5 and stop 6. Now they're going to say $491 is going down to what? And I just don't like that. But again, I don't know how box trucks work. I don't know if they do the same thing. This one starts at San 5, going to San Diego, going to San Diego, another one in San Diego, heading over to Bonita, to Lexington, out my way here in El Cajon, positive that 401 West Lexington is a post office, to Heber. So that is the box truck stuff. Let's look at spot capacity. I forgot if I said that at first. We're gonna just check in on some spot capacity. These are emails Amazon sends out. Time is of the essence on replying to it. If they like your rate, if they like your ETA, they'll give you a call. This 6:06 in the morning, starting up in Chino, looks like ending in Victorville, 53 miles. Their offer 431. This is your one and only time to negotiate a higher rate with Amazon. Let's see here, spot capacity 534 this morning. This started up at SBD 6. They're saying that it ends in Phoenix. let's see, so starting in Ontario, going to Phoenix, but then it comes back to KRB3. I don't think KRB3 is in Phoenix. I'm not 100% on that, but anyway, they say it's 338 miles, $870 is their offer. 456 this morning. LGB3, ending up in Glendale, Arizona. They're saying that's 17 miles. I don't believe that that's 17 miles. But it's $913. You'd have to look on like Google Maps and see like exactly how much that is to find out if that's a good rate. But I promise you, LGB3 to Glendale, Arizona is not 17 miles. And here's one in my neck of the woods, Sand 5, going to DSD4, which is also here in San Diego, and then ending up at LGB9, 107 miles, $450. Let me just see if they have any spot capacity in here for 26-foot box trucks. Sometimes they send me those. Like I said, I like to be inclusive. Box truck, 5353. This one doesn't have a size on it. Is this? Yep, 53 PO. That's not going to work. 53. Any 26. Here we go. This is back from 1023, so like a little over a week ago. 26-foot box truck needed at LAX 5. They say going, let's see, to Buena Park to Pismo Beach. One pick, one stop, 215 miles, $600 is their offer. So keep in mind that's your one and only time to negotiate a high rate with Amazon. Let's do what we came to do and look at, I forgot the city again. Jeez, you take me out of Southern California and I don't know what I'm talking about. That was Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm geographically challenged, apparently. Let's type in here Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll take out San Diego. Be sure that auto refresh is turned off. It is. We'll do box trucks first, and then we're going to come back and look at 53. So price per distance highest, I think this is important. So 75 miles around Charlotte, there are 30 loads. If we dial that down to 50, 30 becomes 29. If we dial that down to 25, 30 becomes 28. Let's increase that to 100. How are they less? 100 is... there's now 36, and 150 miles around Charlotte, there's now 69. I think 75 is an ideal place to kind of start your search at. That's what we're going to do this one at. Here's one leaving out of Concord. So right now, top money on the board is 202 a mile. Concord going to Bishopville. They've got you starting at CLT 5. Ending up at several post office locations. Looks like, let's see, starting CLT 5, going to Huntersville. Then going from Huntersville back to CLT 5. Then to Concord, North Carolina. Then to Jefferson, South Carolina. That was north, right? Yep, North Carolina, South Carolina. And then to Hartsville, and then finally to Bishopville. So there's that one. Let's see, one pick, one stop. I like that. I don't like $1.78 a mile. Starting in Charlotte, ending up in Waynesville, North Carolina. $1.78 a mile on 135 miles. Charlotte, one pick, 5 stops, total of 6, ending up in Manning. They got you starting at CLT 9, so that must be a big player there. And then going to several post office locations, Columbia, Dalzell, Sumter, Manning. God, we're already down to $1.70 on these. $1.63 Concord to North Myrtle Beach. One pick, 2 stops, total of 3, starting at that same CLT 5, going to Myrtle Beach, and then another post office location in Myrtle Beach. I'm going to just shut up and kind of scroll through some of these. And it looks like we're ending out page 1 for box trucks in that area at $1.15 a mile. So something to keep in mind. Keep in mind that load's not from a week till today, Friday, November 8th, but nonetheless, that's what they're offering now. I'm sure as that time gets closer, that rate will go up. Let's look at 53-foot equipment. Now, Redshift Trucking and I have had some great discussions here on YouTube about, like, you know, strategy, what to do and everything. I'm going to show you exactly, like, we're going to do this normal, but then I'm going to add a little bit to this. If this were me, if it's one of those things, if somebody were to say, I want to duplicate what you're doing, I got to be honest, the first thing I would do is go in here and I would say I would apply this max stop filter, or stops max filter. I would reduce this down from 5, I'd cut this down to 3. Why would I do that? Amazon, I kind of touched on at the beginning. They, somewhere in the time that I've been working for them, they reduce down the payout if they don't need you at a stop. Why am I going to accept a load that has 7, 8, 9 stops only to have Amazon turn around and say, hey, we didn't need you, we're going to reduce the payout? So if you want to do this exactly how I would do this max stop filter of 3 is exactly what I do. That still leaves us with 58 results. I feel comfortable with 3. It just is, you know, you got to pick your comfort level, but let's do the same thing. So 75 miles, there's 58 loads. 50, there's 43 loads. 25, there's 43. Let's bump that up to 100. That turns into 98. And 150 goes up to 238. So some of those are going to be a lot of deadhead distance. I just like to do 75. And looking at this, top money on the board right this second is that same CLT9. One pick, one stop to Mills River, 240 a mile. Charlotte to, this is going to be a third-party site, LT Apparel Group. This is going to be CLT9. What do they have you doing here? This is picking up an empty trailer and dropping it off at this LT Apparel. I'm sure later on they'll probably have somebody pick up that loaded trailer and take it to another facility, but this is just dropping off the empty. 209 a mile, XCL1 Rock Hill, ending up at RDU5 Durham. One pick, 2 stops, total of 3. They've got you going from XCL1 to XRD4 and then to RDU5. Here's Rock Hill going to Kernsville. One pick, 2 stops. Spartanburg going to Union City, Georgia. 202 a mile, 385 payout. Spartanburg to Pendergrass, 1 pick, 1 stop. They have that set up at 199. I'm going to shut up and just kind of scroll through these. You hear my dog snoring? He's over there living his best life. We're ending page 1 at $1.34. Here's where I'm going to change this up a little bit for Redshift Trucking. I always, you know, we look at one of these, and like I've said before, it updates every 15 seconds. We're looking at one of 5,760 possibilities. I'm going to do on this one what I do in my actual life when I book these. I'm going to let this run in the background of my life, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm going to have to do some editing tricks and stuff like that so I don't waste too much of your time, but it's 251 right now. Let's see what drops. Coming at you on a Saturday afternoon. Was I foolish for thinking I could have this all done in one day? There was a lot of data to compile. I needed to take some notes. So we're gonna go through those notes right now, just to kind of let you know what I found out. So as far as, you know, a common theme on here or a common complaint I hear from people who run Amazon is they're like, yeah, they drop good loads, but they're gone right away. During those 3 hours I was paying attention to it, I did see a ton of bad loads. I did see a few good ones. I paid attention to the good ones. The one that dropped on there for $4.90 a mile, that one did stay on the load board for a total of 7 minutes. There was one on there for $3.04. That one did remain on the load board for 4 minutes. That one that dropped that was $9.70, that made it through one 15-second refresh and it was gone. So that one was gone in like 15 seconds. And then the one for $3.33, that hung around for 3 minutes. So, I mean, as somebody who's used to making these decisions in like 15, 30 seconds, you tell me that a decent paying load stays on there for 7 minutes. I can live with that. If that sounds miserable to you, then absolutely I would not do Amazon. I mean, this is, if you're gonna, especially if you're gonna do like load board and not blocks, this is something, I mean, this amount of load board watching, this amount of kind of work that goes into the real work of actually driving the truck, this is, in my opinion, this is necessary. So just wanted to clear that up. So those were the 4 kind of loads that I did see. I did mess around with the relay bot a little bit. Had the screen record on while I was doing it. It had a load going from Spartanburg to Union City, Georgia, 191 miles. They started it out, their rate on there was $2.04 a mile. I started kind of playing with it, saying like, hey, how about $600, which would have broken down to like $3.14 a mile. And you can kind of see, I mean, I'll have it come up on the screen. It was like, no. I said no to it, and then it offered me an even more. I think I said no to it again. Maybe I said no to it twice, and it just kept incrementally increasing that rate a little bit. I believe the final rate, if my calculations are right, I believe they went from 203 a mile up to 253. So that's something to play around with and everything. The huge piece of the puzzle I'm not able to offer you because I just don't service that area is spot capacity. I've talked about spot capacity before. It's those little emails, times of the essence, and getting back. Because I don't get spot capacity for your area, I just can't show it to you. If I had it, I would, but I just don't have it. But I mean, if I'm being honest, 50% of the money I'm making currently, and when I say currently, let's talk about the last 6 weeks, at least 50% of it has come from spot capacity. So the load board's great, and it does take some time and patience, but we're, even with this, looking at it for 3 hours, we're still missing a huge piece of the puzzle, and I want to acknowledge that. Like, this is, that would be a major piece for me. So anyway, you gotta find out what's going on in your area with spot capacity. That covers all my notes. The only thing left to do is pick next time's winner. If you want your name to appear on this list, let me know in the comments. You can comment on any of my videos. Hey, I want to see this in long format. Can you do my city in long format? Can you do it in relay rates? If you just send me a comment that's like San Diego 26-foot box truck, I'm going to think you want a load board, and that's exactly what I'm going to make you. But if you want your name to end up on this list, happy to do it. Just be sure to make it clear to me that's where you want your name to end up. We took care of Redshift Trucking, so let's delete row. I now have 10 names on my list of potential winners. Let's go to a random number generator. We're going to type in 1 through 10. I wonder if I could just let it default to 10. I don't want to do that. That'd probably be cheating. And hit generate. Next time's winner is number 8. Let's see who number 8 is. Number 8 is City of Industry, G. Tellis 92. We're going to do that one next.